Peace, family. This week, me and my guest, Camri, linked up at Ponce City Market, grabbed vegan nachos and craft teas from at Lorea's Bodega, and had an absolute ball being two pretty brown ladies having a conscious conversation. My apologies in advance for eating on camera. We tried desperately to keep it cute, very demure, but if y'all haven't been to Lorea's, I don't know what to tell you. Today's conversation may very well cause you to rethink some things, which I know isn't always easy, but is actually my purpose in life. Just keep in mind that I'm having these conversations for y'all, but they're also very personal for me. So, enjoy.
Peace and welcome to Positive Ruminations. I'm your host, Amaya Jewel, and with me today is the lovely Camri. Cam's an author.
Yes.
Cam is a intuitive spiritual life coach and an esthetician.
All healing.
All sorts of healing. Today, Cam and I are going to be talking about no sex in the city. How do you get out of survival mode, right? I've been celibate a couple of times already, and it almost feels forced. It's almost like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop having sex. I can't do this anymore, right? Because I'm in survival mode, and it makes me feel like this is the only way I'm gonna save myself. But I don't know what happens after that. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna like not have sex, and then everything's gonna be okay, and it's not. It's not. So how do we come out of survival mode and then use something like celibacy as a tool? Because everything is a tool that we can use to better ourselves. Yeah. How do we harness that energy that we're saving by not having sex?
But like, what is survival mode to you though? Like you saying it's survival, but what is that to you?
Survival mode, like,
Are you surviving self or are you surviving someone? Like, what is the survival? Where is that?
so in my experience, life seems to throw things at you all the time, right? It's always throwing things at you. And I've not felt like I had, like a person, just a person, opposite sex that I could lean on or rely on or even go to in those instances. And so sex just was like a escape mechanism, right? Like I would get involved in these relationships. So surviving means being able to do everything that I got to do for me, not
You're doing for everybody else.
that I'm doing for everybody else. It's like, because if I feel like, doing things for everybody else is what's keeping me alive, then how is that beneficial for me?
Right. Okay. Feel that. So now it's like you need to take that power back. That's what you're doing. You're depleting yourself and like giving yourself away sexually, mentally, emotionally.
Mm.
And then when you're depleted and when you're drained and exhausted, you like, I need to cut it off. I need to just stop everything. But it don't just start sexually. It starts. It's what the mental is, what the emotions are. It's what the spirit is. Because you're just exhausting yourself to everything and everybody, and you're not being poured back into.
That part.
So it's like I'm gonna cut it all off. There's no access to me
None.
because you're allowing the access to people to come into your room, into your space, and they taking everything with them.
Or like me, I just be sprinkling that shit on everything. I just be like, here, you have some energy.
Because
You can have some energy.
You are the source, so you want to charge everybody up, but who's gonna charge you?
Who charges? Like, who helps the help? That's a question I love to ask people. So sometimes when you're stuck, when we're stuck creatively or emotionally, it does seem like that, like what you just said. You just want to cut everything off. But maybe instead of just cutting everything, we could just redirect the energy. So either the flow of energy or gain control of what sorts of energies we're allowing into our field. Yeah. Yeah. So what would it look like? I think that's one of the questions. That's one of the things that I'm learning how to use celibacy. Because like I said, it's really just been a survival tactic. I've literally just been sitting on it because that's the only thing I can do. That's the only thing I have control over, is saying no. But what is it that I'm saying no to?
Right.
Aren't there? It's not just sex.
Yeah, it's all of it.
What else comes with sex? Like, what are those energies that come with sex? I know toxic relationships, first of all.
I've learned that what comes with sex is where I'm at in my life now. My awareness is that I'm not only taking on someone sexually, I'm taking on everything. The things that I can't see. I can see the physical part, you know what I'm saying? I know it's sexual chemistry, but I'm taking on their spirit, I'm taking on their problems, I'm taking on their weight, I'm taking on their mental, emotional. So it's like that comes with it.
Everything.
And once you put off access to it, you drop that weight off. Because you're carrying it, but you don't see it.
You don't see it.
Until you see it. And that's when you walk around heavy, gaining weight,
punching back. Down, yes.
Like sad, got low vibrational thoughts, eating low vibrational, doing low vibrational things,
almost like
yourself,
almost like a depression.
Yeah.
I am learning because, like I said, I've gone through this several times before. I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore, and I stop for a period of time. And sparkly's on here. It's sparkly.
It is sparkly.
What is it?
I don't know. Should have asked. It's cute.
We're going back. We're going back. It's so cute. Sorry, so I'm learning to harness this creative energy, right? Instead of just, okay, that's something that I'm not doing. What am I doing to not even replace it? Because it's off the table for me. And it's not a religious thing. It's not a purity thing. I'm not trying to posture myself as being pious or better than me. It's literally to gain some control over my creativity, my creative flow. So what do you think are some of the ways that we can redirect? Because like I said, I don't want to replace it. Just like, we were just talking about veganism or eating cleaner, right? I don't want to replace meat. I don't want to replace anything. I want to eat better, period. So don't give me fake meat. Oh, I agree. I love the battered mushrooms because I'm from Mississippi, so we fry everything. So if you could batter some mushrooms,
but I don't think that's fake meat though.
No, it's not. It's not. That's what I mean. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind the mushrooms.
But like when you talk about food that you done made in the lab,
that part.
And you saying it's meat.
That part.
Yeah.
Or not meat.
Or not meat.
Let's eat some.
What they call it, meatless meat.
Impossible meat.
Yeah.
Like what kind of energy are you taking into your body when you consume that? But so what are some of the things that we can do to take our minds off of? Because like you were saying earlier when we were talking, it's only survival mode if you accept it as such. Yep. And once you acknowledge that that's what it is, then you're literally no longer in survival mode. So how are we moving outside of that? Yeah.
Like you said, whatever you said is, whatever you speak, so it is. I've learned that too on my journey. I'm literally blaming everybody or looking for somebody to blame for why I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with or what I'm going through. The whole time as I speak it, that's what it's.
So it is.
So it is. So if I'm saying, I'm tired, I'm tired. If I'm saying I'm in survival mode, I'm in survival. I put myself there. Nobody else is going to take you out.
You claim it.
You accepted it as such. So now you're like, well, now I'm in this space that you have manifested, whether negatively or positively, and now you like, now you're here, and you don't even know how to get out. You're looking for things outside of you to get out, but nothing outside of you put you there.
And that's another thing too. People think manifestation is all about
positive.
Yes, but no, we're manifesting all the time. Like we're always manifesting. That's another reason. That's another way celibacy can help you redirect that energy. Instead of manifesting, your SP or your perfect relationship, how about you manifest some creative drive?
Right.
How about you manifest some structure for yourself and some big ideas? I'm with that.
I went to church today, and one of the words were "watch what you speak." But you know how, like, when we were younger, if you say something out, out the way, or get sassy in the mouth, you get popped in the mouth or something, out the same mouth they're saying, watch what you speak out of. But we get so comfortable with watching what we speak to others that we don't watch what we speak to ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're claiming depression reclaiming being broke, reclaiming being unhappy and single forever, and being a single mom or baby mama. But you're speaking this over your life.
You're saying you're claiming that. You're claiming that.
Literally, you're calling power to it because you're saying it, and now you have to show up.
You're living it out. Yeah.
Unconsciously.
Yeah. I get it.
The unconscious effect. No, but seriously, you literally are in it and you don't even realize.
Right. Talk about that all the time. Mm-hmm. I work in trauma-informed care, and one of the first things made the biggest impact on my desire to want to help people with this is understanding that people don't even know that they're in trauma. They don't know that they're in active trauma, that they grew up in active trauma because it's been normalized.
It's like forgive people for not what they do, but for what the lack that they don't know. Like they'll do something, somebody will do something to you, and you mad at them for what they did, but they don't even know better.
They don't. Nobody ever told them. They never experienced it. Or maybe that's all they saw.
They don't know.
Maybe that's all they saw.
And it's like, well, they cuss me out and they disrespect me, but they're disrespecting themselves. You know what I'm saying? And they don't even realize that because they don't have that awareness.
Some people don't even want it.
No.
That part.
Some people function in dysfunction. I was one of those people. I got out of my own.
My son's girlfriend gave him a book called like Growing Up in a Dysfunctional Household or What to Do When You're Parent. I was like, I got dysfunction. Right. But no, like in all reality, it is what it is. You know, there were things that I did not know. There were things that I just found out at this big age. And so I have to allow him that. I don't ever want him to repeat, what I went through as a woman. I can't teach him how to be a man. I can teach him how to be a good person, teach him how to have morals and values and to be respectful,
right?
But I can't. I got to focus on myself.
You can only really do that by leading it, being there. You can say it, or are you living it? Are you showing it that? We hear what people say, but it's like, what you doing though? Don't match your actions. Don't match your.
So that's what I wanted to talk about. Like, what does celibacy even mean? Is there a definition for? Is it just literally just abstaining from sex?
I feel like it can mean whatever you want it to mean. I don't think it's no right or wrong way.
To be celibate or to, I mean, like the literal definition.
Like I don't know what the literal definition is. I know it's with not having sex.
Did it come from the Bible? Like, did it come out of the Bible?
I think so. I'm not sure if you don't quote me on it, but I feel like it's whatever you say it is. Like we were speaking earlier, like, well, you can only be celibate if you don't do this, or if you do that, or if you don't have this, or if you don't do this. You celibate if you didn't do it for a day.
You're celibate if you're used to doing it several times a day and you only did it once. Yeah. There's
2 weeks celibacy. Your
point.
It's in real time.
Right.
Nobody's, I don't think, ever been celibate for a long enough time or years to be like, well, this is how long it has to be to me you're celibate. You know what I'm saying?
And then what's the point? What's the point? Like, what are you like celibacy until what happens?
That's what I'm saying. God not gonna love you anymore, any less anyway.
Does God have a scoreboard, like a score sheet where He's like, oh, she's been celibate for 6 months?
Yeah, I'm gonna give her more.
No, I'm gonna give her a little more time. She's not committed. She's not devoted. She's been celibate for 2 years.
Right. It starts in the mind. It's the relationship you have within yourself. It's what you create for yourself. As long as you can honor that, it doesn't matter what nobody else said it is or it isn't.
What's your point? My point to my celibacy is I want to learn to love myself the way that I love other people. Like all of that energy that I would pour into, that I will pour into my divine counterpart, I want to give that to myself first. I don't want to ever be in a relationship with a man looking at him for something that I have not done for me. And that's how I was showing up in relationships. Like I wanted him to save me. I wanted him to, maybe I had daddy issues or something like that. But at this point in my life, I'm just like, you know what? We're not even going to deal with anybody else or expect anything from anybody else. until we learn how to give it to ourselves. That way we know exactly, that way I know exactly what I want. I know what it takes. I know what feels.
So I ran out of storage. Camry had to go, and we just have not been able to coordinate our schedules to finish the conversation. But I've kept y'all waiting long enough, so I'm gonna keep ruminating on my own. Cam, I know you're here in spirit. Thank you so much for your presence and your wisdom in that conscious conversation. I look forward to ruminating with you again soon. Here's why I'm picking this back up right now. Because right now, we live in a world that's always plugged in. Our bodies, our emotions, our phones, everything is on all the time. And it's so easy to just give your energy away without even realizing it. And I'm not just talking about sex. I mean, intimacy in all of its forms, the texts, late night calls, emotional downloads with people who haven't really even earned that access to you. It all costs you something. And when that intimacy or that exchange isn't intentional, it can leave you drained, distracted, and low key disconnected from like who you are, from your own self. So that's why I wanted to sit with this a little bit longer, because pulling your energy back, or like Cam said, taking your power back, isn't about punishment or deprivation. It's about power. It's about clarity, and it's about creating space for the life you actually want. And here's the thing. This isn't some random idea I just cooked up in my own head. People all over the world have been making this choice for thousands of years, and for all kinds of reasons. So let's take a little trip through history and see how celibacy has shown up across time and culture. I promise you, it's going to make sense. As we walk through this, I want you to notice the reasons that people chose celibacy back then are not all that different from the reasons some of us are choosing it today. Um, Long before Christianity started talking about celibacy, people all over the world were already doing it. And not just for religious rules and regulations, but for intentional purposes and practices. In ancient India, for example, there was the idea of brahmacharya, bra, brahmacharya. Back then, it was something students did. No sex, total focus, so they could pour all of their energy into sacred study and self mastery. And later, the yogis took it even further, believing your sexual energy was ohas, like a life force that you could protect and turn into spiritual power. In Buddhism, like 6th, 5th century BC, monks and nuns gave up sex completely. And for Buddhists, it was about loosening the grip of desire. The Buddha taught that sexual craving was one of the strongest chains keeping people bound to suffering. Then over in ancient Greece, Pythagoras, yes, the math guy, his people believed that sexual restraint helped keep the body and soul in harmony. And then over in Rome, the virgins of the goddess Vesta, they were called Vestal virgins. They took 30-year vows of chastity, which is celibacy, to keep the sacred fire burning, because their purity was tied directly to the safety of the entire empire. Indigenous healers across Africa, the Americas, and Oceania have long stepped back from sex before ceremonies or rites of passages, believing that it sharpened their spiritual senses. And in China, the Taoists talked about conserving Jing, or life essence, through sexual discipline. Even in Islam, some Sufi mystics chose celibacy to focus entirely on divine love. The point is, across time and across the globe, celibacy was never just not having sex. It was a way to reclaim your energy, clear your mind, and prepare yourself for whatever was next. So, when you look at all these traditions side by side, you start to notice the same patterns showing up over and over again. First, energy management. Celibacy was a way to keep your life force where it belongs, in you. Instead of scattering it in all directions, you could pour it into creativity, pour it into your healing, your goals, whatever mattered most in that season. It's not about what you're avoiding, it's about what you're fueling. Second, clarity and liberation. Without the pull of sexual or romantic entanglements, you get to see yourself more clearly. You get to detox your ideas about love and desire and connection and figure out what's actually real for you. And third, sacred intentionality. In so many cultures, abstaining was about preparing for something big, a ritual, a spiritual milestone, a personal transformation. It's a choice you make for alignment, not because you're afraid. Whether we're talking about monks or philosophers or healers or mystics, the heart of it is the same. Celibacy was never really about deprivation, it was about devotion. And I said it earlier, this is not my first time practicing celibacy, but before it was different. It came out of survival mode. I wasn't making some grand intentional choice. I was just trying to survive. I just needed to reclaim something for myself when everything else felt out of control, out of my control. It was about protection, not preparation. So now that I'm no longer in that space, I get to choose celibacy from a place of power. I use it as a tool to capture and harness my own energy and pour it into what I'm building next. I want my energy to stay in my body, my mind to stay clear, and my vision to stay sharp. This isn't me pressing pause on my life. No, 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 no. This is me preparing for my next chapter. Every ounce of energy I might have given to romance or sexual connection, I'm just planting it in the soil of my own growth. And I can already see the roots taking hold. I can feel it. This podcast, the books, it's all playing out perfectly. For me, celibacy isn't about, it's not a restriction, it's freedom and focus. And right now, it feels like liberation. So before I wrap this up, let me just leave you with something else to think about. If you pulled your energy back from every place it's been scattered, where would you pour it? What could you start growing in your life if you stopped giving your time, your body, your spirit, your energy to things that don't even line up with where you're headed? For me, celibacy is just one way that I'm making that choice. Yours might look different, and that's okay. But the real question is, what could change if you gave yourself the gift of your full, undivided presence, even just for a season? Think about it. Thanks for watching. Peace. Peace for watching. Thanks for watching.